Hello everyone, my name is Rachel Dilley. I'm Chief Operating Officer for Town Hall Group and this is Town Hall TV. Today we're thrilled to welcome Dr Rahul Doshi. Welcome Rahul to the show. Rahul is a leading cosmetic dental surgeon, former president of the British Academy of Cosmetic Dentistry, clinical strategy development director for Dentex, co-founder of the Perfect Smile Studio and Advanced Training Institute. Rahul has also been a judge on the new UK National Private Dentistry Awards for the last 15 years. Rahul is also a lecturer and author and was voted one of the top 50 most influential dentists in the UK. Extremely honoured to have you here this evening, Rahul. So many things that you've managed to achieve in your career, so impressive. Can you tell a little bit, the audience, a little bit about what motivates you, what gives you the passion, and what you enjoy the most in your current role?
Sure, and thanks so much for the kind invite. I'm really glad to be here. You know, everything that you do in life is all about influencing people, helping people. And one of the mottos that we've had, not only in my dental career, but also in all the other things that we've done, is to change lives. And change lives exceed people's expectations in everything that you do. So whether it's as a dentist in doing cosmetic dentistry, whether it's in helping teams or practices to grow, whether it's in developing and teaching, it's all about trying to help people. And when you have and are actually enjoying what you do, and you actually have the passion to do it, you're not actually working, you're actually enjoying life, and that's when you see the results of everything that you do.
Everything that you do with passion, you do with a calmness. Your current role that you're doing at the moment, tell the audience a little bit more about that and how your career's developing in that area.
Sure. So when we actually had our practices that we were running, we had two facets. One was actually doing an immense amount of clinical dentistry in a very niche area of cosmetic dentistry. And the other one was that you couldn't develop success just by having a clinical skill. You actually had to develop the business side to the dental practice. And so we had to learn facets of every single element of running a practice, whether it be leadership, sales, marketing, strategy, developing a vision, etc. And what we found was that actually had a massive impact, not just in our practices that we ran, but also practices that we helped coach. We then started coaching groups of practices, and we saw the development of those practices really do well. So I was sort of, in a way, we joined a group called Dentex, and Dentex has now about 100 practices. And one of my roles is to help the growth of those practices because they saw the effect and the results of what we'd done with a smaller group of practices that we worked with. And so my role right now is developing practices within Dentex, but also helping practices which are individual practices or a small group of practices in a similar way as part of the coaching that I do with my wife, Bhavna.
Going back to a little bit about the coaching that you do, which, as you say, you're changing lives in business, you're changing lives through dentistry. What is the one fundamental thing that stands out in your coaching, which obviously you can help business owners, directors, and actually the team and make such a big impact?
Okay, so I think when we boil down to everything, say, for example, you want to get new patients in, and that may be marketing, but when the patient comes in, they need to go through a refined patient journey. And to have that refined patient journey, you need an inspired and a motivated team. You can only actually have an inspired and motivated team if you have the correct team culture. So it's all about the team. It's all about developing the team culture. Once the team culture is there, then you can actually take the practice in any direction that your personal vision and the practice vision desires. And it will also allow you to maneuver obstacles. It will allow you to go through change, but with the right team culture. And that takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. It takes strategic planning to achieve that culture as well. It's not something that you just do reactively. That is probably one of the most fundamental things that I think will affect any practice.
Obviously you jumped on private dentistry awards, which you have been for the past 15 years. When you're looking at the criteria for obviously practices that apply, what is your biggest joy that you see when you're looking at the the teams and how much people have achieved in dentistry?
Oh, it is so good to see the comments and the feedback that the teams and the award, the entries receive from their patients in terms of testimonials, in terms of their team members talking about the actual practice owner, or it may be from peers and colleagues who are referring sort of practitioners to that practice itself. So that positivity that practice has achieved in all facets, whether it's from the team, the patients, its peers, that is really gratifying to see.
Oh, thank you. Obviously, we've got lots of times of change, haven't we, in dentistry? And it's really important to have effective change management, which, you do talk about motivation. If you could give one piece of advice to a business owner about change management, what would it be?
So if we think of creating change, it's all about involving the team. So first and foremost, the team always needed to have been engaged. And if something needs to be changed and you react when change is needed and the team aren't on board with you, then change management becomes exceedingly difficult. So what do we need to do? It goes back to my earlier remarks on having the correct culture. If the culture is established, then you've got the foundation then to influence the team because they're with you. They're on board on the same vision, on the same mission, and they will do whatever it takes to get that business to succeed when change is needed. Now, one of the things also that's really important is that when situations arise, there needs to be open, honest, transparent, and frequent communication between the business owner and the team, so that everybody's on board making a collated decision towards that change. So the team understand the reasoning why that change is required. They understand the advantages, they understand the disadvantages of why that change is perhaps needed, and they're involved in that change decision process. Once the involvement is there, then actually creating the change becomes pretty much straightforward.
So Rahul, you've had a fantastic journey in your dental career. What has given you the most joy, one particular moment that's given you the most joy throughout your career in dentistry?
I think it's always about changing and seeing the change in people's lives for being better. So when you're doing cosmetic dentistry, you will always get the instant reaction. Oh wow, my smile looks amazing. That's great, and it's very self-satisfying that you've achieved that result that the patient had sought, that they entrusted you with their time, their investment in their research, and etc. But what's more gratifying is the change that you see in them a year or two later. So where you actually see that their life has changed because they've got a better job, or their personal relationships have improved, or they're actually doing things that they had never imagined they would do because they have a renewed confidence. And that's the same in our coaching business as well, where you're seeing either team members or practice owners who are not confident when we first met them. They wanted to, of course, achieve success in their practice, but also it's also about developing them as people, as individuals, and seeing them grow. So seeing their practice grow, but also seeing people grow as well. And when you see the combination of the two and seeing that change occur in themselves and what they achieve a year or two later, that is really gratifying.
I know that the dentists that you have trained, have been delighted to work with you. And again, obviously you've done the extreme makeover, and you're giving that ability to other dentists. It must make you feel proud to see up and coming students to where they are now.
Oh, I mean, there is nothing gratifying more than actually teaching that knowledge that you have, so that other people can actually use that knowledge and carry that sort of use that information themselves and make the changes as well. So there is a mushroom effect that does occur by the teaching to other people.
Last question of the evening. How do you, obviously you're very successful with Bavner, and how do you're so passionate about everything that you do, how do you manage like a work-life balance?
I think there is a structure I have in my own diary. That's the key thing. So that there is that work-life balance where I make sure I have enough time for myself to ensure I have enough energy and stamina, and that's through what I do physically in my physical fitness, what I do mentally in my mental well-being, spending time with loved ones, friends and family, enjoying things that I'm passionate about in life, but also ensuring that when you're at work, you are doing what you enjoy. So when you're doing what you enjoy, time flies, you enjoy what you do, and it doesn't seem difficult when you're at work, and therefore there is a snowball effect in what you're doing at work because you're enjoying it. The work becomes successful because you're enjoying it, and you want to do more of it. So and you have the energy and the stamina to do all of that.
Well, just to say that everybody in dentistry holds you and Bavner in such high regard. Thank you so much for joining us today. Don't retire anytime soon. Continue to do the fantastic work that you do, because you really are changing lives in dentistry. So thank you so much, Rahul, for joining us. It's been a pleasure. This has been Town Hall TV. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.